Recording in progress.
Hi everyone, it's Nicola from Morecambe Bay Wills. Today on Top Tips, I wanted to talk about protecting your business. So one of the things that we talk about a lot as small business owners, or even large business owners actually, is do you have a contingency plan? I think lots of people think about contingency as being, can you have, if your building goes on fire, can you still operate? Can you pick up the phones? Where are your IT? All of that sort of stuff. But actually, business contingency, or in some cases, business continuity, can be a little bit more about you. So if you think of yourself as a business owner, have you thought about what would happen if you had an accident, if you had a bit of ill health, if you wanted time away, or even, how would death affect your business? And it's something that when we talk to our clients, we always ask them about, do you have a business? Because it's really important to think about, how would you pay your suppliers, or how would you pay your staff, or who would do your marketing, or what happens to your sales, or how do you fulfill your orders, or can your business even continue, or does it have to close down? And not many people think about that. And I think you owe it to your colleagues and your employers, or employees, I should say, as an employer, and your customers, to sort of put contingency plans in place. And it's something that, lots and lots of people haven't really even thought about. So I just wanted to talk about a little bit of a case study. So, I dealt with a local business owner some time ago. He'd been suffering from cancer for a while, and he was now terminal, and he wanted to think about what might happen with his business, because although his wife and his son were involved in the business, he was actually a sole trader. So when he had to go into hospital and his family wanted to continue to trade, but the bank actually froze his business account, because the bank was sort of safeguarding him, really. And then the authorities stopped his MOT license because he was a garage owner. And all of that, if he'd have made a power of attorney in advance, his family might have been able to continue whilst he was too ill to go through his treatment. The MOT is a slightly different situation, but he hadn't even thought about that really in terms of contingency. But the other thing was, we looked at his will, and his will didn't contain a power to carry on business clause. So that meant his executors, which were the solicitors, actually had the power as trustees rather than his own family. So, we looked at his will, had a look at what he needed, rewrote it, made sure that it gave powers to his wife and his son for, as and when whatever happened was going to happen. And that made it much, much, much easier for him in terms of the ability to do what he needed to do. And I think one of the things that, when we talk to people about wills and your business, there are lots of things like tax implications, what are the tax implications for you and those close to you? So, does your business qualify for inheritance tax relief? For many people, many business owners, there are lots of types of business where what your business is worth is actually not necessarily included in your estate. And if you don't know that, you're not quite sure how to plan. But more practically, who would take over? Is that temporarily? Can you protect them against losses? If you wanted someone to take over permanently, is that sort of clearly laid out? Should your share be sold? Are there any agreements in place? And we've seen, shareholders, two directors of a company, or two shareholders of a company who, oh yeah, well, when I'm no longer here, or when I stop being able to work, then we'll just have, the other person will take over. They'll buy my share out. I'll leave my share to my wife and they'll buy me out. Well, do they have the money to do that? Does the business have the money to do that? So, there's also an insurance perspective as well. So, not necessarily just talking about wills, but, what happens, what happens in terms of money. And I think, even if you are still around, and you have an accident, what happens, did you know your business account actually, if you were in hospital, like the business owner I just talked about, did you know that the bank can freeze your account? They'll do it to safeguard you. But the reality is, what about the disruption to your suppliers, and your orders and your customers, etc. And if you're a director of a limited company, or you're on the board, what about those other directors taking decisions that you might not wanted to have been taken? So, think about maybe putting a power of attorney in place that allows whoever you trust, and maybe sometimes it's a qualified person because it depends on your business, but whoever you trust to maybe take your seat at the table, so to speak. So that's what a business power of attorney does. So, it appoints someone you trust to step in. So I think, that there's lots and lots that I could talk about business. I've got 5 minutes really to talk about. I've already gone over that, I think. But, make sure you will and a power of attorney, take your business into account. Don't leave it, just because the consequences could be really, really terrible for you and for your staff and your clients, etc. So if you want any advice, I'm here for a quick chat. Give us a call. We do a free 30-minute consultation. We can have a chat, decide whether there's anything that you need to do, and if so, we can help you put it on the right path and help protect you, your family, and your business. Thank you.